today I'm actually co-hosting with Salim Barisa and interviewing one of our favorite diplomatic couples that are actually joining us here today.
Yes.
I think most of you guys are already used to His Excellency Ambassador Peter Madden. He's been here several times at the radio station. He's been at the hub several times. He is not a new figure. He's a very familiar figure. But today is actually a very, very sad day because this is actually his last diplomatic visit to Mombasa as he completes his diplomatic mission in Kenya. And on studio here today is a very unusual thing because for the first time ever, we're actually hosting a diplomatic couple. And with us in studio today is Miss Chris Maddens, who is the spouse to His Excellency Ambassador Peter Maddens, and also who supports in running a lot of the operations behind the scene. You know, technically, in a household, when you actually see the man that is the head of the household and is running everything, the question actually happens, who is really the head? Is it the man or the woman who runs most of the operations behind there? So today, in today's conversation, we get to hear and understand what this journey actually means here today. Ambassador Maddens.
Hello, Rukia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
How does it feel to be
back? A little
back?
sad. Oh, it always feels amazing to be here with you guys. I mean, you know, Swahili Pot, Mombasa. It's our second home in Kenya. We love it.
I love that. Miss Chris Maddens, this is your first time at the radio.
At the radio, yes. I followed him with FM. Once he was there, I was in the background as usual. But, you know, I like to let him shine. Because along the years, I noticed that he has a lot of talent, so I had to create space to be able to go as far as he could. So,
I like that. And how does it feel being on the spotlight today and not behind the scene?
I'm a little bit nervous, but I know he would like that I tell my story as well. So I try to tell my story. Maybe it can help other diplomatic couples in the world. You never know.
Absolutely.
Or couples in general.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. So I have a question to you. How many years have you been in Kenya? I understand that your father also served as an ambassador in Kenya during the first president of the country, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. So how does that
So in this job, we've been here for 5 years. Actually, almost exactly 5 years. We arrived at the end of July 2021. But as you said, I kind of had a bit of my youth here. My dad was one of my predecessors. He was here from, I think it was October 1975 to January 1979, so a little more than 3 years. Interesting. It was, I mean, first of all, I presented credentials to a president who was the son of the president to whom my dad presented credentials. Now, that may not resonate with many people, but in diplomatic circles, that's actually quite unique. You know, in a kingdom, it can happen because the succession, father to son of the head of state, is rather automatic. But in a democracy, too many stars have to align for this kind of stuff to happen, and it's very, very rare. Yesterday, I was honored to bid farewell to the president yesterday morning, and it struck me then that it wasn't the first time that a Maddens had bid farewell to the president of Kenya. And I found a picture, and I posted it, so you anybody who knows how to find me, there you go. Anybody who knows how to find me will probably have seen the picture of my dad with President Moi, and then Attorney General Njonjo on the picture, and that was his farewell in January of 1979. So, in this job 5 years, but in total Kenya's been half my heart for the better part of 50 years.
How does it feel bidding farewell to Kenya?
Oh, don't push that button, Ricky.
It's very hard on him.
We have a little bit more than a week, or 10 days, and I'm dreading every minute.
He's coping, but it's hard on him. It's really hard on him.
So let's not talk about leaving, shall we?
Okay.
But you know, Kenya has been part of our lives. You know, for him, of course, it's different. But to tell you, 40 years ago when we got married, we had Kenyans at our wedding.
Well,
Barisa, it's been 40 years.
Yeah. 40 years.
40 years of marriage.
In marriage. Okay.
So, and
I am praying.
We have this
There's a
habit
secret.
that you
There's a
carry.
secret.
You will tell us
That
this.
you carry the bride over the doorstep in the house, and the guy who was carrying me in my wedding dress was a Kenyan guy. So
Wow.
Did you get
through
married
him,
Did you get married in Kenya?
no,
No,
but
no,
we have
in Belgium.
Kenyans in Belgium at our wedding.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, maybe if I may ask,
Sure.
he has pressure. The last 10 days.
Yeah.
How are you making it comfortable for him?
I try to talk about it, not as much, but I see it when he really feels sad, that he really has a hard time. And then I just make a gesture. I talk to him. I put a hand on on his knee, on his shoulder. These little gestures make him, just go out for dinner or something. And but I know it's a hard time. And he tries to, how can I say, spare me, not to make me. But I can do that. I'm used to taking care of him through the years. Because what I loved about him is that he always acknowledged what I have been doing behind the scenes. And that helps me just to continue with whatever I do. Yeah.
I like that.
We're a good team.
You are a good team.
Yeah.
You are a good team. Yeah. Most of the times we don't get to see what actually happens behind the scene. What we just get to see is him showing up in diplomatic spaces, and also most of the time, sometimes the common person doesn't really understand the role of the ambassador, right? No. We see you in public spaces making short keynotes and remarks, and we think it's just the glamour that works behind that. And a few people feel like diplomacy is just behind the scene negotiation. From your perspective, you grew up in a diplomatic household, you moved into actually becoming a diplomat yourself. How would you explain what diplomacy actually is and what it means for two countries?
Well, we basically do three things. We inform, we protect, and we defend. I inform my capital and my authorities about things that are going on in Kenya at all levels: political, economic, social, cultural, whatever. All those things. I try to paint a picture of Kenya for my own authorities so that they can decide on the basis of in-depth knowledge how to handle certain situations when they arise between two countries. That's the information part. I protect. So that's when we have Belgians active here in Kenya or present in Kenya, be they tourists, businessmen, etc., etc. We make sure that they don't get treated differently from other foreigners or even from Kenyans. Just to give you an example, if a Belgian person is incarcerated in jail, what we need to make sure of is that he doesn't get treated worse than any Kenyan who's in jail. The situation for that Belgian in jail in Kenya will be different from the situation of a Kenyan in Belgium.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
In that particular case. But that's the obligation. So we need to make sure that our citizens' interests are protected. Businessmen should not be, or business ventures should not be discriminated against because they're from a foreign country. That kind of thing. And the other thing is that, so that's protecting, and then defending, and that's more proactive. We make sure that when, for example, we negotiated a double taxation agreement with Kenya recently, which means that whoever is liable for taxes gets to decide whether he or she wants to pay taxes in Belgium or in Kenya, and in the other country, it will be considered as having fulfilled their tax obligations as well. So that's more a proactive stance. It makes sure that when an investor comes here, he knows that he'll be covered by this double taxation agreement. So those are the three things we do. We inform, we defend, and we protect. That's the role. Now, apart from that, obviously, there's also promoting. And that's basically showing off what Belgium can do here in Kenya or what Belgium can do anywhere. And that's where our partnership comes into play, because part of that promotion aspect is the use of the tools that we have at our disposal. One of them is the embassy's installations in Nairobi, the residence, and whatever we feel we need to promote Belgian interests and promote the Belgian image here in Kenya. And like I said, one of the most important tools for that is the residence that we have, and you'll often see ambassadors living in shiny houses. But that has nothing to do with our status as ambassador. That has everything to do with a tool that we use to show off what Belgium is, not to show off us individually. In that tool, we can show off our own Belgian advantages or what makes Belgium Belgium. And that tool, that residence, which serves a purpose of representation, is run by the CEO of the residence, and that's usually
With my staff, I must say
So-
we had wonderful staff.
look.
without my
I mean,
staff.
that residence is I compare it to an SME.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple of people who work in the house.
Yeah.
We have a couple of gardeners because we live on 6 acres, so it needs to be maintained. I mean, all this was bought 60, 70 years ago, so we've inherited it. It's not as if we've made the conscious decision in this day and age to live on that kind of an infrastructure. But so it exists, and we should use it. So we have a couple of staff in the house, in the garden. We bring in external service providers, catering, security, tents, sound systems, decoration, etc., etc. And we produce representation, and that gets run by Chris. So I call her the CEO of our SME, which is the Belgian house in Nairobi. So she really is. She's the CEO. And on top of that, after 40 years of marriage, there's a Spanish word, ama de casa, which means soul of the house. That's what she is.
Oh, she is the soul of the house.
She's the soul of my
I
house.
try to be, but also I
she's-
really have to say, with our staff, we had a fantastic team here, and even at the end, the routine has become like I think of something, and the staff is thinking already with me, and that is such a relief. I get compliments for being a good host, but because of the staff, I could just, when I received people, I could focus on my guests. I just didn't have to think about anything
There are
else.
the things.
And that is so much.
I know hosting and relationship building is a very key thing when it comes to diplomacy.
Yeah.
And you play a very big role in that. I mean, collectively, what do you think have been the biggest achievements between Kenya and Belgium relations for the last few years when you were actually posted here as an ambassador?
In the bilateral relation, I think the most important thing that we did was there were 4 things that were languishing and that had been in preparation for a number of years before that, and we got them. We pushed them all past the goalposts, and we got them done. One was the like I said earlier, the double taxation agreement. There's an update of the air services agreement, which allows Brussels Airlines to fly to Kenya, and which would allow a Kenyan airline to fly to Belgium as well. And then there's an agreement about the work permits for the spouses of diplomatic staff, Belgian diplomatic staff here, but also, and much more importantly, because it's a larger mission, the Kenyan diplomatic staff in Belgium. And then finally, we also got Brussels Airlines to come back to Kenya after 10 years of absence. About 10 years ago, they had decided that they wouldn't fly to Kenya anymore for commercial reasons. And then the company became a little more successful, started making a bit of a profit, and the first thing they did was reopen their line to Kenya. Those are on the bilateral front. Those are the most important things we did. Then in terms of our own policies, we very early in my term at least, we decided that our focus would be on environmental issues, climate change, et cetera, and actually we didn't just talk the talk, we also walked the walk. We turned the embassy into the first net zero embassy in Kenya, which doesn't have a carbon footprint in its operations. We did that, we conceived the project, and again, this is how Chris and I are yin and yang on this one. I have a tendency of having kind of big ideas, and she focuses on the process.
When he has an idea, I go like, oh.
So that's how we get things done.
Okay.
That's how we get things done.
But I'm happy for it.
You
It's
focus
always
on the
worth
end
it.
result. She focuses on the process, and that's how it
Okay.
gets done. And so again, we work well together.
Okay, thank you. Let's get sporty fast, and then we come back
Okay.
and discuss. I need to know the secrecy.
To 40 years.
Yeah, 40 years and be like appreciating. It's very rare to see a man appreciating
Yeah.
his wife or her wife in front of people, like the way you are doing it.
Thank you.
Ni ngumu
But it's
huku.
work every day. Yeah?
Yeah.
The relationship, you shouldn't just let go. You have to focus on each other, not to that one of us would slip or just, you read his body language at some point, and he reads mine probably, and then
Okay.
you have to jump in, not to let,
No.
even when you don't feel for it, you just
Now we need to get the code for that. Sinapisi inaendesha Aspire Launchpad program ya kukuza biashara changa iliyoundwa kwa ajili ya wajasiriamali wenye maono na uwezo mkubwa. Na kusaidia wewe kujaribu wazo lako la biashara, kuthibitisha soko lako hapa Pwani na kujenga msingi imara wa uadilifu na misingi mizuri ya kibiashara. Kitu kizuri zaidi, Sinapisi inaingiza swala la mtaji tangu mwanzo. Wanaotoa ruzuku ya $1,000 kwa wazo bora zaidi litakalowasilishwa kutoka kwa kila kikundi la Aspire ili kusaidia kulipa uhai wazo hilo. So wewe ambaye kwamba ni mjasiriamali mdogo, ambaye kwamba bana unaona kwamba mimi wazo langu ni bora, wazo langu ni bunifu zaidi, tutembelee pale Mombasa Works Oriental Building, Mombasa Town, au jifunze zaidi kupitia sinapisi.org. Tutafute pale kwenye LinkedIn, Facebook na X pale. Sinapisi, tunakuza biashara zinazokuwa na kuleta mabadiliko. Oh yes. Haya. Tunarudi tena hapa kabla ya kwenda kule ambako mimi nataka kujua siri, lakini tuulize hii. What leadership lessons has Kenya taught you that you will carry into your new role leading Belgium diplomatic missions across Africa?
Well, I mean, so normally I was supposed to retire next week.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, my retirement date was 1 August. Until they called me up from the foreign ministry and said, "Listen, we need you to do something for us for a little while at least," and so they want me to head the Africa department in the foreign ministry. I guess a little bit has to do with the fact that I spent a number of years in this part of the world. All of it in East Africa, actually. I've never served anywhere but East Africa. We were ambassadors in Tanzania from 2003 to 2008, and then here from 21 to now. And then those couple of years when I was a kid. So I have a bit of life experience here. But your question was, and I'm trying to think of an answer while I speak. As diplomats can, they can talk and think at the same time.
Yes.
It's the chewing gum that's difficult. Leadership I think leadership. Two things, and my wife will tell you I usually fail at one. But I think yes, you will. But I think there's two things are necessary. Number one, you need to trust the people working for you. When we arrived here 5 years ago, one of my staff was asking me, "What time do you want us to start at the office?" Or should I wear a tie to the office? And I said to him, "Listen, what time you start and what time you finish is not my problem. My only problem is that you get your work done. You come whenever you think you need to come. You stay however long, or you leave whenever you think you need. But if your work doesn't get done, that's when we have a problem. You're a grown person. You're an adult. I'm not gonna. You need to be responsible for your own stuff.
Yes.
Right." So I give my staff full responsibility for their work. That's one thing. And, that's empowering, and it's satisfying for them because they know that they have control. Okay. I tell them when we need to send a message to Brussels, a cable. I only need to see it if you think my input would be valuable. If you think this is exactly what I need, and I can and what the ambassador will say won't add any value, then go ahead and send it. And you know what? I've only had, I think, one message from the 5 years here that I've had to tell my staff, "Listen, I should have seen that, because I would have asked the question differently, or asked another question, or tried to provoke another reaction from Capital." And that usually happens with your youngest and least experienced staff members, because that then becomes a mentoring thing.
Yeah, right. You take it as an opportunity to mentor these people.
It then becomes a mentoring thing and a teaching moment. Yeah. And the other thing that you need to be a decent leader, and this is where you're going to say that I fail, is you listen. You need to listen.
You don't listen.
He tries, but it's hard because...
See? See? I mean, it took like 2 seconds. That's 40 years.
I get it.
That is 40
Right.
That's one of the secrets.
I mean, she said you try.
Yeah,
She didn't
well,
say you don't do it.
In other words, but she's the diplomat. He tries means he fails abysmally. That's what she actually means by that. No, I'm sorry, darling. Go ahead and explain.
Okay.
No, I understand it because his personality, you know him by now. He has a lot to say. So when you are replying to something he brings up, there's so much going through his head that he wants to, just to tell the people, to inform them, and then sometimes I said to Peter, try to listen also. The other people also have you have a lot to say, but the other people also have to say something.
What often happens, though, with me, I mean, I can anticipate what people are thinking. So I'm already 3 steps ahead, and I don't have the patience to go through the 3 steps. So I tell them, here, this is what you're going to say in 5 minutes. So now I'm already answering that.
Yeah, he has a very fast mind, and that he needs to, pull back a little
I mean,
bit.
just to give you an example, we speak Spanish, right?
Yes.
Now,
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we do, because we lived in
Argentina
Venezuela
before.
and in Argentina, and then we spent a lot of time talking Spanish at the UN in New York as well. So we actually, both of us are fluent in Spanish. Now, Spanish, the one thing about Spanish, and I guess I'd have the same problem if I was ever able to learn Kiswahili, which sadly, and I really mean that sadly, it feels like my head is full with languages. I just can't get another one in there. But in Spanish, sometimes you have grammatical constructs or vocabulary that is a little complicated.
Yes.
So in my mind, I'm already half a sentence beyond what I'm saying, what's coming out of my mouth. And if I don't know the word 10 words from here, in my head I'm already changing the word to something else.
He can make detours in his,
And that's
I
in the
am too
middle of a
slow.
sentence. While I'm saying something, I'm already thinking about so anyway, it's just how my mind works.
So this is very interesting. And when you were first posted in Kenya, and this is a new team, this is a new environment. Yes, you grew up here, but it's a new environment in terms of you actually serving as a diplomat, and with the listening part, and you coming with already prospective ideas on what things could be done and how that could be executed. So how did it work out? The listening and hearing part.
It was even, you're describing it, and you're describing it very well.
Very well,
it was even worse than that.
Yeah.
Because the team had just gone through trauma. You remember that in the middle of 2021, we weren't done yet with COVID. Right? We were all still wearing masks. I think there was still even a bit of a curfew going on in Kenya. That was lifted not much later. I think if memory serves, that the curfews were lifted in late September or beginning of October of 2021. But so the team had gone through trauma. There was a diplomat that had died of COVID. There was one of the support staff that had died of COVID. So they had really gone through trauma. So it was hard. It really was. It was. Plus, there were 2 of my staff who were in their last year, and who were going to leave a year later, whose mind was already elsewhere. Well, what we ended up doing actually was taking up one of our colleagues' suggestions to go do a major team building exercise. The Mara Elephant Project, which is this NGO that deals with elephants in the Masai Mara. That's why it's called the Mara Elephant Project, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. They do a fundraising every year, which is a marathon, which is an ultra run in Masai Mara.
Yes.
And you can run it alone or you can run it by teams. And we decided to register a couple of teams in the marathon from the embassy. And we took everybody. We took the whole team and their families to the Mara.
And that was really good.
A compatriot who owns the camp. By the way, the guy who inspired us for the Net Zero Embassy, because his camp in the Mara is also Net Zero. He offered us to take that we could spend the night with the whole team in his camp. And he did he received us that day after everybody had gone running, and it was quite the intense day, running from early in the morning through the Mara. And then we went to the camp, and he did a big fire and a log fire and a great dinner and Maasai dancers and all that. And it was absolutely amazing. The team needed it. When we got back, people left their doors open. They were talking to each other. They would say good morning to each other. before that, because of what they had gone through, doors were closed. People were checking out the corridors. Can I walk in the corridor? Is there nobody there? Because you don't want to cross each other with this COVID stuff. So it really was what we needed, and that that was the beginning of this posting. It was hard. I mean, the end of the posting in Argentina wasn't easy either, because it was a whole year and a half with COVID. Because don't forget, COVID started, what was it, February, March 2020?
2020, yeah.
And then we left in July 2021. So that's a year and a half that we were going through COVID as well. Luckily, we were a much smaller team, and we were able to be a little more. We were able to organize ourselves in such a way that we actually were able to come to the office every day, which helped. We were co-located with another embassy at the time, and that other embassy had as his instruction that they should all stay home full time with their computers, which were remote computers for the office. We all came to the office every day for the whole year and a half. At the end of the exercise, turns out that none of my people had ever caught COVID, and that everybody in the other embassy had caught COVID, because they'd been cooped up, and the minute they found a way to get out, they got out and did stupid stuff and got sick. But because we brought everybody to the embassy, everybody also felt responsible for each other, and were very safe in the way they dealt. So, no, it's you never know what's going to hit you in this job. Every day something else is going to happen.
That's true.
I mean, 4 years ago, we were just changing consoles when there was an accident on Mombasa Road at Voi. Family got run over by a truck. The dad, who had come here with his 2 children and his wife, went back with 3 boxes. He was the only one who survived the accident. His 2 kids and his wife both all perished in the accident. And then all of a sudden, there goes your week. So it's the only way you can actually manage this, if, like I said before, you listen and you empower.
Okay. Now, if we are talking about empowerment, let's talk about the youth. What's that one mark that you are leaving behind? Because the larger population in Kenya, it's 75%. It's youth. What's that one thing that the youth in Kenya are going to remember about you and the embassy?
Ooh, what are the youth going to remember about us?
Your strength, if I may, just a second. His strength is that he can connect people very fast with each other.
Yes.
A youngster brings up something and he loves working with youngsters. He brings up something and he knows immediately, she or he needs that. So his networking is just flabbergasting. I never could do it. That's why I supported him always, because I knew he would do the good thing. I think he has touched so many lives here, and certainly of youngsters. I'm pretty sure about that.
One of the organizations that we try and get involved with, quite intensely, is Ghetto Classics. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have operations both in Nairobi and here in Mombasa, where kids from informal settlements are brought together, and if they have a talent for music, they're taught. That talent is developed, and they get to work together. They get to work alone as artists, and it's actually quite beautiful. Another one that is in the similar sphere is Ano's One Fine Day. Again, an arts institution in Mathare Valley in this case. In Kibera.
In Kibra, yeah.
Or Kibra, as I was told. You have to pronounce it. Yeah, but thank you, Chris. I wouldn't have been able to formulate it that way. But yeah, I guess if you're talking about empowering youth, it's networking. Yeah, putting my network at their disposal.
And I noticed that here, specifically in Kenya, I saw him really, it's like coming home and really get the most out of this posting. Yeah. And I think he succeeded.
I think I've known the ambassador from 2022 in the first Pan Innovation Week. I actually wasn't working for Swahili, but then I was volunteering. I started working for Swahili Pot after that Pan Innovation Week. But what I've known about him from all these years is he's very hands-on.
Yeah.
You know, most of the times when you think about a diplomat, you're used to
And he is
security
not a
and
talker.
protocol. There's absolutely no protocol when it comes to him. You could easily drop in a
But
text,
that
give him a
also,
call.
he puts the people at ease.
Yes.
And he makes a joke. You know, everybody laughs. Everybody feels very comfortable
I
with
agree
him.
with you. It makes it
Because-
very easy to hold conversations with
Shall
him.
I just step out while you guys? I don't know.
And after 10 days, no, we
I mean, technically, I can't really
no,
say
but
he's
it's
leaving
true.
Kenya. He just has a bigger responsibility for Africa
yeah.
right now, and Kenya being among them. Maybe not necessarily operating from Kenya, but Kenya is technically one of his responsibilities. still. So I know we are about to conclude. If you're to tell a story or to introduce Kenya to anyone when you go back to Brussels, what story would you tell them? This is to both of you.
Oh boy. Go ahead. What story
too
about
much to
what
take
story
in.
about Kenya would we? You know, there was somebody. This departure is you get a lot of people doing exactly what you guys are doing now, like interviews and stuff like that. And one of those interviews, they were doing a quick fire thing, and in that quick fire, it was like what's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? Your favorite sport? And the question was, Africa is. And this actually goes for Kenya as well. And I said, no, I'm not answering that question, because you can't define it in one word. You know, what are you gonna if you're gonna draw a picture of Africa? What are you gonna draw? You're gonna draw Mount Kenya. You're gonna draw a lion. You're gonna draw a smile. You're gonna draw.
It's never enough.
You're gonna draw the savannah.
Yeah.
You cannot summarize it in one word, and that's the same with Kenya. There's no single story. You know, if somebody asks me, what's it like living in Kenya, I'll tell them, how much time do you have? Or actually better, let's sit down and tell everybody tell all your loved ones that you won't be back until tomorrow. You know, it's everything. It's wildlife. It's the climate. It's the vibrancy and the creativity and the diversity and the smiles and the and the city and the savannah and Mount Kenya and the coast.
Yeah.
Very
You
hard.
know, the Indian Ocean,
Yeah.
the turquoise blue Indian Ocean, which is so unique. So, yeah, no, sorry, not one story.
Okay. Before Rukia interjects, you've been coming to Mombasa, but you've never missed going to the Hub, Swahili Port Hub Foundation. What are you looking up? Pinning Swahili Port Hub Foundation and the board and extra.
Well, like I said,
yes,
creativity,
yes,
diversity, ambition, drive, intelligence, and the smiles. See, look. Those of you watching online, look.
That's the reason that you
Yeah.
you choose Swahili Port.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it's so
It's a
pervasive.
vibe. There's so much
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
The impression you get the first time you get there, it's really amazing.
It's so powerful.
Yeah.
And Barisa, just in case you are not aware, Ambassador, as he leaves Kenya, he's actually joining the Swahili Ports board to support in the advisory and governance of the space.
Okay. Why did you choose
Swahili Port?
Swahili Port? Yes.
Like I said,
Mhm.
the vibe, the ambition,
And the youngsters,
and I find the kids there.
Yeah.
I'm 66. I'm allowed to call them kids.
Yes.
Well, I'll be
Yeah,
66 Saturday. I find it so inspiring, and so heartwarming, and I wish I was like them 40 years ago.
Wow.
I really do. I wish I was like them 40 years ago. And I find myself sometimes thinking, damn, I could have been like that.
I could be in that space.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Getting those chances.
So now,
yes.
even at my age, I want to give back, and I want to make sure that I'm part of the ecosystem that makes it possible for kids to be like that.
Wow.
I like that. You know, most of the times you have people that come there, appreciate, leave, maybe contribute something from afar.
Yeah.
But his response in being very intentional to actually want to be part of the vibrancy, the ecosystem, the growing of the ecosystem.
Yes.
And I'm connecting that with what Chris said is one of the key skills that the ambassador has, which is networking.
Yes.
And even what we stand for as Swahili Pot and what the young people actually really need right now is the mentorship and networking, which from his diplomatic service and mission within the country has been something that like really stands out to showcase who he is as a leader, who he is as a diplomat, and how that could actually turn back and translate to the young people. A few years from now, I'm actually looking forward to having more of like Pete and Chris Maddens as a couple, but also as a diplomats and leaders in not just seeing themselves in the positions of power, but also what the position of power and influence actually looks like for the community around that. So thank you very much.
You're young
for
enough
all
to
that.
join our tribe. You know that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Come join the tribe. Take the Kenyan Foreign Service exam. Become a diplomat. I think you would.
Yeah,
I
why
actually
not?
went to do that.
Do it.
I actually
Yeah.
went to
Seriously,
do that.
do
Yes.
it. And the minute you start and the minute you succeed, call me up. All right.
And you will
Please,
succeed.
please honor me to let me be your mentor.
I was actually going to ask you that
Okay.
after that,
Yes.
but it's a good thing that I'm able
All
to
right.
actually ask
Okay.
you that on air.
Now it is in the open.
Yes.
Have you accepted?
I have accepted. Thank you very much. I was going to ask that. So thank you very much for
Nice.
offering that.
Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now I'll give each of you 30 seconds to say some wonderful words to the youth that are listening to you right now, and what thing that now you'll be leaving Mombasa, but you'll be with us because now you'll be joining Swahili Pot Hub Foundation. What's that one thing that you've learned from the youth of Mombasa that you live with?
Like I said, it's the vibe at Swahili Pot, and I'm sure the Swahili Pot's not the only place in Mombasa that has that same kind of vibe. This is something citywide, countrywide actually. The fact that 75% of your population is below 25 makes this country so vibrant and so ambitious and so creative and so diverse. This is the reason for your success.
Okay.
And you are successful. Look at the arc. Look at the evolution over the last 50 years that this country has gone through. If you look at that arc, you'll see how successful this country is and will be in the future.
Thank you. Chris?
I have nothing much to add to that, but I would say never give up to the youngsters. Never give up. Just continue.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. What is one word, just one word, about your memory in Kenya?
Smiles.
Chris?
Generosity.
Wow.
Thank you. Smiles and generosity.
Yes.
Thank you very much,
We
Larissa.
smile and we are generous. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
been,
you for
it's
having
been an
you.
honor.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, haya bana, we umesikia mazuri matamu, lakini naomba tumalize hapa na nikupatia habari njema tu kuhusiana na Sinapis. Wakati wageni wangu wakiondoka hapo, nikwambie kuhusiana na program ya Fast Track. Sinapis ni kituo cha kukuza biashara, na programu yao ya Fast Track imeundwa maalum kwa ajili ya makampuni yanayokuwa kwa kasi zaidi. Hii ni programu ya ushauri dhabiti na kikamilifu. Unapata washauri wabobezi katika sekta yako, mafunzo ya moja kwa moja na usaidizi wa karibu na mtu mmoja mmoja ili kukusaidia kujenga uwezo wako kimuundo. Wanakusaidia kuvuka kutoka kwenye mahangaiko ya kila siku na kuwa mkurugenzi mkuu mwenye maono. Si tu utajifunza jinsi ya kuweka mifumo kwenye mnyororo wako wa usambazaji, kuajiri viongozi sahihi, na pia vile vile kuweka sawa hesabu zako za usimamizi. Kwa zile biashara ambazo ziko tayari kweli kupanuka, program hii inakuandaa wewe kupokea uwekezaji ili uweze kuchukua mtaji usalama bila kuvuruga utendaji wako. Sasa wewe kama una mabaiko, basi tutembelee pale Mombasa Works Oriental Building, Mombasa Town hapa. Ujifunze zaidi pia kupitia sinapis.org. Tufuate kwenye LinkedIn, Facebook na X pale Sinapis. Tunakuza biashara zinazokuwa na kuleta mabadiliko. Bwana we, tupate taarifa ya habari kutoka kwake Khadija Mohammed.